So hello there guys, how you all are doing? I hope you will be doing fine. Welcome back to Rejoin Tech. We are again back with a new video, this time in Rust Nuggets playlist. Yeah! In this video, we will be learning conditionals in Rust.
A condition? What condition?
Moreover, we will be trying out every edge cases and every different types and varieties, whatever we can do in conditionals, and we will be completely grinding the knowledge so we can grasp it to the fullest. If you haven't subscribed to Rejoin Tech, kindly do it because we make such contents. So without further ado, let's begin our conditionals journey in Rust. So we have listed all the agenda for today. First of all, we'll be going through the basic if-else loops, how we can write it. Next, we will see how we can add a Boolean value in the conditionals. Moreover, we will also see numerical comparisons. And lastly, we will see how we can do variable assignments using loops. So let's begin with normal if-else loops. So let's fire up our nvim. Moreover, this is a custom designed terminal based compiler which we call it as NeoVim. So if you guys want a video describing how I have set up nvim, kindly comment it down. Actually, it's typically a little bit more difficult to set it up on Windows, but for MacBook and Linux it's pretty fine. So now let's see how we can use the conditionals. So before defining anything, let me first of all tell you about syntax. So how the syntax is for if loop. So as you can see, it is if condition 1. If it is true, then it will do something inside. Let's write it out. If condition, if it is true, then do something. Else, do something else. So this is how we do if loop. So say for example, and always remember this condition should always be a Boolean. So it cannot be, say, if condition is like you defined a variable condition that is say equal to 6. So it will give you an error. It should always come something like Boolean, either true or false. If condition is true, then it will do something else. If it is not true, then it will do something else. So this is how if conditionals work. And it is same for every programming languages out there. So now let's define some of the variables. Let mute vehicle equals to car. And now let's write a if loop. So if vehicle equals to car, then we want to print the vehicle is car. And now let's run our code. Let's see what we get. So the vehicle is car. Now we have already made the variable as mutable. So what we will do, we will reinitialize our vehicle here. Vehicle equals to bus. Now if we again print the value of our vehicle here, let's make it this and say vehicle, we should get our value, that is changed value, and it should be bus. So the second println gives us bus. So that is why we made the variable as mutable. If you guys don't know what is mutable variables, I've already created a video on that. You can get the link in I button. Now moving forward. So we are already done with if else loop. Let's write something in else part as well. So if vehicle equals to car, print vehicle is car. Let's write it as else print the vehicle is not a car. Let's remove this. Let us make it non-mutable because our compiler is crying. And let's do a cargo R. So you can see we will get this println because our vehicle is already a car. Now let's make it like auto and let's see what we get. So we get our vehicle is not a car. So this is how if else works. Now let's go to the second part. Our first one is completed. Now let's see Boolean value conditional. So what I mean by Boolean value conditionals is, so say for example, what you are doing here is you are accessing vehicle, then equating it with car. So this is like two steps. Now say for example, you do something, let is it true equals to true. Now you don't need to do a comparison. Like you don't need to write is it true equals to true. I mean, you can always do this, but we don't need to do that. Let me show you if whether it prints it or not. So let's do this is true. And again, let's say this isn't true. And let's print. And we will get this is true. So this is one of the methods in which you are equating it with true. Now let's remove this part and you can see the magic. It will again be same output, like this is true. So this is how we do this. It is kind of a shortcut. So if you are giving any Boolean value after if, that it will equate it to be a condition. So this is how we can directly write up a Boolean value here. So how it is used in our IT field, let me create a simple struct. You just don't need to concentrate too much what is struct yet because we haven't reached there. I'm just giving you a simple API response that can be thought of as the use case of this method. So how we can do that is we'll write struct response, will make a status, which is a Boolean variable. That's it. This is our struct. Now let's define a variable that is, say, our response equals to response, and we will write status as true. So this is done. Now we just need to check our response dot status. So this we have already defined as true. Now if we directly print, so let's change the message as well. Let's make it as, say, something like we got our response. So now we can do a cargo R. So if you get some API response or something like that, you can evaluate it to a if condition that can be used as an error checking method. Nowadays we use try catch and all, but it can be a use case. That's what I'm trying to explain. Even though if you are not able to understand what is struct, what is response and all, whatever I have done here, it was just for an example to you guys. Don't put up your head much on this stuff. We will learn it soon. So now our second part is also complete. Let's go to our third part, that is numerical comparison. So let's remove all this stuff from here. Now let's create a variable. Let's make it as let wheels equals to 3. And let us make our vehicle as mutable. And now let's remove this stuff. And let's write it as if wheels equals to say 4. Then we want to print something like this is a car. Else we want to print this is some other vehicle. Moreover, like other programming languages, in Rust also we have else if blocks. So what we can do here is, let's write it as else if wheels equals to 3. Let's print this is an auto. So this is how we do it. Now let's do a cargo R. Can you guess it? What will be our output? So our output is, this is an auto. So our wheels was 3 and here we are equating it with 4. This is a car which is false, so it won't happen. Next we have else if wheels equals to 3. This is an auto, so it will be printed. So this is it. What if say we make our wheel something like 0? Now if we'll print it, it will go directly into our else block and say this is some other vehicle. So this is how we evaluate on basis of numerical conditions in if else. So this is also done. Lastly, we have something like variable assignments using loops. So how we can do that? Let's remove the vehicle variable here, and according to number of wheels, let's create a vehicle variable. So how we can do that is, let vehicle equals to if wheels equals to 4, give me something like car, else if wheels equals to 3, give me something like auto, else give me some other vehicle. So this is done. Let us format our code little bit. So now let us print our vehicle. Let's do println and we will write something like our vehicle is. So now let's print it and see what we are getting. So you guessed it correct. Our vehicle is some other vehicle. Why? Because our wheels was 0. So according to this condition, our vehicle variable is getting initialized. So let's make our wheels as 3 and let's see whether it is getting initialized to be auto or not. So this is auto. So this is how we can even initialize a variable using conditionals in Rust. So this is also done. So that is it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching this video as well as learned something new today. If this is the case, hit that like button. It is so easy to do. Moreover, comment out any queries or anything you want to be answered. And please subscribe the channel if you haven't done. So let's meet again in another Rust video. Take care. See ya.